Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video. This is the fourth and final video in my seasonal book recs thing. Oh my god, what do people call it? Series. Anyway, I am fully in summer mood because today it was 25 degrees Celsius here in the UK, which I know in other places is not very hot, but to us here it's pretty good. So yeah, I was just like, it's very hot, it's given summer, why not film a summer book recs video? So I've got 5 books for you guys today and I think it's all romance. So I'm sorry, if you're not a romance reader, maybe this video is not for you. But maybe if you want to get into romance, I think summer is the perfect time to read a bunch of romance books. I don't know why, I just get that feeling. So that's why I've got a bunch of romance books. Anyway, ramble over, let's get into it. We're actually gonna start with a book I have not read yet, but it's been on my TBR and every time I look at it, I'm like, I'm gonna read that in summer. And that is this book, Love and Gelato? Not sure, Gelato? Excuse my pronunciation. English is not my first language, that's my excuse. Doesn't this book just give summer vibes? The ice cream, the blue skies, the even more ice cream, it's just everything about it, it just gives me summer. And from what I heard, it's a very great read, so I recommend. I haven't actually read it myself yet, but I wanted to include it because I'm gonna read it in summer, so you guys should also read it in summer. Another romance book, Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is the first book in the Chestnut Spring series, and you don't have to read all of them. You don't even technically have to read them in order, though it's recommended. I recommend the whole series, but this is the first book, so we're just gonna go with this for now. All of the books in the Chestnut Spring series are small town romances, and they're all just very cozy. All of them just give me cozy feels. And this first one sets up perfectly for like the rest of the series. So it follows a bull rider and his agent. There are some spicy scenes. If you don't like spicy scenes, you can skip over them. It's not like a... yeah, I wouldn't say it's a huge part of the book, but yeah, cozy feels, great for summer. Okay, next we have a bit of a different one. You know, I show it to you like this because if you see this first, you'd be like, nah, that's no. But if I showed just this, would you want to read it? I've ruined that now because I've showed you how big it is, but listen, this is a YA romance book. Yes, it's the first book in the series, and yes, it looks very big, but hear me out. It goes by really fast because it's YA and there's a lot of speech instead of just massive descriptive paragraphs. It flies by. Yeah, so this follows Johnny and Shannon, and they go to this Irish school. They live in Ireland, and basically Johnny's a rugby player at the school and Shannon is a new student. And it follows their, not even just love story, the way they become friends and like friends to lovers eventually, but this book is more focused on like the found family, the friend groups, and there is a lot of family dynamics going on, some not so good, and it does get very descriptive at certain points in the story. So maybe you want to check out trigger warnings before you go into this, I would say. But I found it really good. I loved it. It's more of an emotional one and I think it's just perfect for summer. Next we have an even more emotional one. Seven Summers by Paige June. This book I cannot recommend enough. It's a romance and it follows these two characters throughout 7 summers. So you get to see, it's kind of like a past present timeline, but you get to see all these 7 summers and you don't really know what happened in between. Unless they like specifically mention something in that summer scene. And I just thought it was freaking amazing. It is emotional. I cried a lot, especially at the end, because it is kind of also a love triangle situation and you don't know who to root for because one of the people you're rooting for is like in the past and then the other one's in the present timeline and it's like, who do I vote for now? But in the very end, and I say that because there's an epilogue and then there's more epilogues, but in the very end it does have a happy ending, I would say. So I do recommend. It is an emotional read and it is more, I mean, it is romance, but it does give a bit of general fiction vibes with the way it follows the main character's life as well as her relationships. There's mentions of family, of finding herself and figure out her future after university and things like that. So yeah, there's just a lot of topics that I thought were really cool in there and it's set in a bunch of summers, so I think you should read it this summer. Okay, my final book recommendation is Happy Place by Emily Henry. So I would say this is a very popular book. I think this is one of like those book talk books that a lot of people talk about, but if by any chance you haven't read it yet, it's a romance and it's a kind of second chance trope, also kind of fake relationship kind of vibes. But also, as with 7 Summers, it does kind of have that general fiction kind of vibe to it. So there is the couple you're following, but there is also the friend group and them going on holiday together every year or every few years. I can't remember the exact details of it, but basically you get, again, there's like a past present timeline kind of going on and you get to see like how they got to where they are, and there's a lot of things around things are changing, and I think there's a lot of loss of innocence, loss of like childhood going on, like just becoming like real adults and going into, you know, you've got your own jobs, you lose touch, and there's a lot of topics again that I just think are really interesting and it's a great summer read. So that is all the 5 books I recommend you should read this summer, as well as the series if you do like these. And if you have any summer book recommendations, please leave them down below because I would love to get more summery reads. I feel like I don't have any really. Obviously I still need to get to this book, but other than that I'm just like, I don't know what to read this summer because I've been fine with like fantasy and all that back in winter and like autumn, but now I've got all these fantasy books around me and I'm like, I don't feel like picking it up. Anyone got any good romance recommendations for me? Please leave them down below or let me know what you like to read in summer. And that is the end of this short little video. I hope you enjoyed. Give it a like if you did, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see more of, and see you guys next time.